Greetings and peace. I hope you and yours are doing well today, wherever you might be watching this from. Now, the title of this video is basically talking about Freemasonry's future in terms of what's taking place on a digital level, and also the conversation focuses on not every individual in Freemasonry is a true Freemason. So again, I represent myself only as a free man under free speech. I represent no Grand Lodge statements or opinions. So that foundation laid in order, we will first start with the topic of Freemasonry's future. So the way that things are going, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic, is that everything is kind of taking place on an online level. Myself included, other brothers and other organizations are creating their lectures, their books, magazines, journals, podcasts, YouTube channels, you name it. All this information that many were, I guess, avoiding, or the subjects of esotericism or actual spiritual knowledge, it's out there now for the seeker who's willing to learn. So now if let's say the lodges weren't teaching anything to their members, it was just a social club, and most people, they get bored and go away. Now you're dealing with the other aspect, where now you're basically creating the seed of Masonic education and a Masonic renaissance that's taking place. And a lot of the younger Masons of all backgrounds, creeds, and colors are now, what they're doing is, myself included, if they're, anybody's not talking about the things that I want to learn about or I want to see, then they take it upon their own hands. And as a builder, rightfully so, they build their own thing, like I have. And I'm grateful to all of you because I couldn't have done it without all of you. So, that said, we see in the future going that now human interactions and relations they're at an all-time low. People just want to be left alone. Nobody wants to meet. Nobody wants to date. Nobody wants to see each other. Everyone's like kind of in their comfort zone. And it's a much, much different time compared to our parents and grandparents in terms of the society that we're dealing with, in terms of work, wages, and it's just so many pressures and things that you have to deal with. I mean, back in those days, one income could help the whole household. But now you even have 2 or 3 incomes that even that's not enough. So it goes to show you that now a lot of these organizations that are out there, Freemasonry included, now things are going to be at a digital level. And of course on the physical level as well. But you got to give the young generation what they want. You got to give them what they want, for them to invest their hard-earned time, money, resources. And it's just like an investment. If I go to a local store and they advertise a product to me, and if I buy the product and it doesn't meet my expectation, what do they tell me? Please come back within 7 days, 30 days, and we'll give your money back, right? So the aspect of Freemasonry is the same thing. You're promising brotherhood, friendship, all those things, knowledge. But if the individual does not get that, then they fade away. So that's basically, you have to find out what is it that the individual is seeking and accommodate their needs. And obviously you have to find the right lodge that works for you. And I'm thankful to a dear friend of mine and a dear brother who's a past Grand Master. When I was going through my own ordeals of the aspect of order out of chaos in Freemasonry, of entering and then exiting and then coming back again under a different country and jurisdiction, he had told me that ultimately it's the place that you pick. So it's just like, the aspect of these different organizations that exist. Human nature is people are people. And in America, the organizations can be a reflection of the society that they inhabit, which is currently spiritually broken and suffering. And that's what kind of seeps into the ranks as well. So we think about this is, first you do like the lodge shopping, if it's, if you're on the physical point of view as well, and find a place that works for you and welcomes you. And they're open to you on these different aspects of learning, being one with everybody. And that's when you know you're at the right place, because you'll feel that vibe and that energy of being welcomed. And the aspect of you basically striving to get knowledge, to get enlightenment, and you find it. And that's basically it. And right now it's everyone's kind of meeting online, Me sitting here in my room, I've given lectures to Massachusetts, Florida, England, Australia, India, you name it. I basically, let's say, you could just imagine that I was there in person, but with the internet now, with the world being more connected than it was ever before, I can experience all those things. So now you're in the comfort of your own home. I can connect with everyone all over the world just by sitting here in my chair in front of my camera. And I don't need to go nowhere, no hotel costs, no ticket costs, or everything is just your internet service. That's the only expense you have in terms of enjoying that. All the knowledge at your fingertips for those who are willing to perceive it and open their eyes to it. And just like a lot of the new generation, they have video games, they have streaming services, they have all this other stuff that keeps them entertained for hours on end. And that's why, we're having that lack of communication. And that's why Freemasonry is important, because it builds those bonds. Because, when we become lonely, that doesn't help anybody. Your fellow man needs another fellow man on this journey called life. The brothers need their brotherhood, and the women have their own organizations, their sisterhoods, like-minded individuals who can understand you, you can understand them, and just share this journey called life, because we're all walking each other home and we owe this love and light to one another. So the way that I see Freemasonry's future is that the leaders of Freemasonry who are in charge today, there is still a generational gap even in 2021. I would tell them, just look at the future that the young people are facing with climate change, with the pandemics and bio-warfare that's taking place, financial issues, relationships issues. It's not how simple as it was back in your time. So every generation has their own challenges. That's understandable. And we have to be understanding towards that fact, or the leaders of Freemasonry have to be understanding towards that realization. And ask them what they want. And you give them what they want, of course, they always come back. You have a business, you give the individual what he or she wants, they'll come back to you. And they'll bring others who are like-minded, who will be able to help and contribute in the same like manner. So that's that, in my perception as a millennial Freemason and somebody who's a man of color who has dealt with his own challenges and fought against those challenges, and I have succeeded. And I have succeeded very well now that I'm seeing with everything that everywhere I look in terms of Freemasonry, the inclusion of all races and religions in terms of the background of its members is not being neglected. Everyone's being included and acknowledged. So if I was able to contribute myself as an individual and others in that collective struggle to tell people to practice what they preach, then I'm honored if I was able to change the heart and mind of one person minimum, to tell them that this is what a true Freemason is and you should act like such. So I'm happy to see some positive changes taking place, and I'm grateful for whatever part that I played or will continue to play down the road, because it's a never-ending journey, it's a never-ending story with life. You're always where you're meant to be, the things that you're meant to do, the people that you're meant to see. So you just take it, not in a rush, but take it with enjoyment. So that's what I see for Freemasonry's future, that the leaders have to understand the wants and the needs of the young members and give them what they want, and make sure that whatever is being preached is being practiced. So that's basically simple. I can't get more simpler than that. And a lot of them have their own knowledge and own understanding, so it's all self-explanatory with the social issues that we're facing around us. So okay, that said, now we move to part 2 of this conversation, which is that not every individual in Freemasonry is a true Freemason. Now, myself as a Pakistani Muslim, now, the beauty of Freemasonry is that just like how you have those that are not satisfied with one specific church or mosque because the members or the leaders are not accommodating them, then they go to another one, and then they feel happy with the vibe that they're getting there, and then they end up sticking with it. Does that mean that the religion was bad? No. It's like, you have your 5 fingers on a hand. Not all fingers are the same size. Same thing. Like, people are people. You find that aspect and that struggle between light and darkness everywhere. Same goes in Freemasonry. You'll have those that have a PM next to their name, 33, and some of them have not displayed top-notch qualities of what it means to be that individual that has love, peace, enlightenment in their presence, in their aura, in their heart, and their eyes. But, and there are those that have a PM or 33 or next to their name. They are some of the greatest human beings that I have met. So again, you have that dichotomy, even in the Masonic world, of, dark, light, and what I covered in my previous video, which got a great response, about the difference between the social club Mason, the spiritual, esoteric Mason, the light Mason, and the dark Mason. Because everyone has their own intention about what they want to get out of any said endeavor. So that said, myself, I dealt with my own struggles, and like I said, through my efforts, I see some positive changes taking place, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for all the things that are yet to be there, because as builders, you are encouraged that if no one else is doing what you want, then you do it yourself. Be the example. Be the example to others. And that's what I've been doing. And I'm glad that everyone's taking their own initiative of making their channels, podcasts, books. If I can do it, just sitting in my room here, then anyone can do it. It's you that has to take the initiative and find a lodge or jurisdiction that accommodates you or makes you feel welcome, like I did. I didn't let the haters drive me away. You know what I'm saying? Recently, I was at an event where the same haters that had laughed me out when I had left the fraternity, I sat right in front of them. So it just goes to show you the example of a Mason, that no matter how much somebody might try to tear you down, you're always, you get back up stronger. Stronger and stronger each time. And that's the meaning of the true Freemason. And you make those guys realize too that, you know what, maybe there's something that I could have said better, something that I could have did better or understood better. So not only you're strengthening yourself, you also are teaching them that no matter what adversity this one individual has to go through, he always has a smile on his face, is always there, always doing what he needs to do, participating, helping, and doing the right thing. Not letting anybody discourage you. Those elements of darkness that exist everywhere. I remember in the beginning, when I had first started my channel, I was sharing a lot of topics and discussions, because from the Western point of view, like here, as an Eastern man coming from the East, I would see a lot of the topics of the East neglected in Masonic education topics and videos, or they would never mention the East. They would always talk about the Greeks or the Romans, but nothing wrong with that either. Knowledge comes from everywhere. That's why you have the double-headed eagle that looks in both directions. But you're not supposed to just look at one direction. You're supposed to look at the East. That's where the light is, right? So the East was often neglected, and I always covered those topics and did the best that I could in the robust manner, and I tried my best doing what I do. While I saw these other performances that were very watered down, and I'm like, this is not what the young people want. They actually want to know what's what, who, what, where, what, why, and how is it connected to Freemasonry. And that's what I did. Every religion or philosophy that's out there, I made it, comparing it to Freemasonry. Because it's the oneness of the path, right? The point within the circle, the grand architect of the universe, God, divinity, Allah, in whichever way you perceive it. And everything around that point within the circle, it's an umbrella of different tapestry of colors and patterns that's to be celebrated, not ignored or condemned. And it all connects to that one source, the oneness of it all. Freemasonry is promoting that truth of the oneness of all of humanity in times of great strife, division, and chaos. And that's one of my goals, is to, the aspect of the Masonic Brotherhood, that if we can do it, why can't other people? Muslims, Christians, Jews, we can all come together and love one another. Why can't you? That's what I'm trying to teach people. But ultimately, yes, you will encounter the haters as well, but you just use that as a fuel to your fire to keep going. So yeah, like I was saying, when I was making my videos, I had posted in one of the groups, and there was an individual who was a supposedly from a high rank, or he was like a past Grand Master of like a invitational only independent body or something like that. And he had this like an ego response towards my videos. Oh, I don't need to see that, or I don't need to watch your stuff. Like, you're beneath me. But see, that's where the darkness comes in. Masons are on the level. They respect each other, no matter what race, religion, creed, rank, occupation, socioeconomic status, etc. And now that same individual, me not being discouraged by his words or backing away in a corner, I was consistent with my stuff. And now he actually likes my posts. So you have to be consistent. And there were others, that supported me and stood by me. So you have to realize that the path is never easy. But if your intention is right, God knows your intention. Your heart, your intention, what you stand for, what you want to see the brother Freemasons doing. And to speak out against any that are calling somebody a brother and then going online and being racist or ridiculous in their rhetoric and their postings and their demeanor. Because you carrying yourself as a Freemason is not only in the lodge once or twice a month, or in some countries 3 to 4 times a year. You're 24/7 you represent when you're wearing a ring or hat or shirt. I don't wear any of that stuff. I show people that I'm a Freemason through my character, through my compassion and dealing with one another, where you make them wonder, who are you? And what is it that you stand for? And then you represent the fraternity in a positive and like manner. So that's the reality. It's not about the ring or wearing a Masonic hat or a shirt. It's about your character. And not being racist, not being egotistical, not being elitist, or the aspect of elitism that I see in many of the Masonic education groups, where a lot of the people have their own cliques and groups of who they want to acknowledge and accept. While with me, majority of them never did that with me, except for maybe 1 or 2 that always posted my links on their channel and they supported me. And I'm grateful for them, because they're true brothers and they're true Freemasons and they're true friends. While others would have their own idea about who they want to support, keep like a tight-knit community. But then again, that's not just only in Freemasonry, that's just human nature. Some people just won't like you, no matter what you do or who you are or what you say, that even if they like or don't like. And myself as a Pakistani Muslim and a Freemason, I'm facing a double whammy, living in America and dealing with that reality. That's why I do what I do in terms of spreading knowledge and writing my book and making my own channels and videos to teach people the truth. I have so many people that reached out to me that because I made basically Masonry connecting to all of these Eastern faiths and religions. Many people who had misconceptions about Freemasonry in their communities, but nobody ever talked about it because they never wanted to. And they said, thank you for your videos, or thank you for your message. You cleared up so much darkness away from my mind. Many of them ended up actually joining in their respective areas and countries. So whatever purpose God is using me for, to bring humanity together, to eliminate ignorance, darkness within people's heart, minds, body, and souls, then I accept that. I accept my role for whatever is yet to come and whatever role that I have yet to play. Because I take my life one day at a time. This could be my last video message and I could go to sleep and not wake up. That's why I face everyone with a clear conscience. I don't wear a mask. But, in the aspect of what I've seen in America, people have a mask for work, with their personal life, with their friends. Just be yourself. Be yourself in all of your dealings and you don't have to worry about anything. Be your true, authentic self. Be an honorable and dignified human being and individual. And you shall have no worries or fears in your life. Because you trust in the higher power. You trust in yourself. You trust in others. And that intention gets returned to you times 10. And those that plot against others or hate against others, I look at where I'm at today and I look at where they are. Half of them fell into their own holes that they were digging for others. So the universe or God or the grand architect, in whichever way you perceive it, takes note of that as the all-seeing and the all-hearing and all-knowing. So your intentions are very important. And that's why this foundation that I've laid in this video is, what is Freemasonry's future for the young generations? And also that not every individual in Freemasonry is a true Freemason. So it goes hand in hand, this dichotomy and this understanding. And you have to come to this understanding yourself in your own conclusion and your own path. I can give you all the advice and guidance that I can, just like when you go to the doctor. He or she can give you all the advice and tell you, hey, just cut down on your calories or exercise 30 minutes a day. But if you're not going to do it, then you're not helping anybody. You're not even helping yourself. So when I tell a lot of these individuals, give the young people what they want, focus on the education, speak out against the racism and the elitism wherever you see it, or the ignorance, or wherever you see ego and all that stuff collectively, I can only advise. And I'm glad some have taken action, where I've seen some changes taking place in my respective area, and other places where I've looked at and I observed some changes are taking place. That's good. But everybody has to do that collectively. Collective jury of this world is when humanity comes together and wants something, it will get it, because we are powerful. We are the powerful human family, and we need to practice what we preach in that regard. And I would say an organization like Freemasonry existing in the world, and we have division and chaos, I find that hard to believe. That we're out here and we still have suffering and chaos and hurt and distrust. It shouldn't be like that. We should be there to care for one another and help others, love others, call and check up on others, right? I mean, I've been in situations where myself, living in America, being a part of another country's membership, they would say, check on this person, he's feeling lonely. And I'm in a whole nother country, whole nother time zone. I don't hesitate to connect the time zone and make the call at an appropriate time to let the individual know, let the brother know that I'm here for you. You're not alone on this path. We're living in a selfish society today, even excluding Freemasonry. I see it everywhere, where people call you when they need you, and they ask you, what do you do for a living, so they could realize what kind of respect that they're giving you. They don't check up to see, hey, are you happy? Are you okay? Are you happy? Is everything okay with you? We don't have that going on today. So with any higher-ups or leaders that are watching my video, please think about all the things that I said. Give the young people what they want, practice what you preach, and you will have a good future, even in this futuristic AI dystopian society that we're potentially facing, with human communication getting lesser and lesser and interactions getting lesser and lesser. Same things with the aspect of rooting out those individuals in Freemasonry who don't represent the true values. Speak out if they're saying anything that you don't like. Encourage dialogue, encourage unity, and you shall always have a robust organization, I promise you. So my love and light to all of you and yours. I hope you were able to take something away from my message. Thank you, and God bless all of you.